Corey Seager, the two-time World Series MVP. Hit the intro.
Former World Series MVP. Golf swung, right field, forget about it.
No stride, toe tap, just so strong.
This 1-0 from Javier. Seager hits a high fly ball, deep right field, a bomb in the first.
Right away, shock value. He crushes it.
Seager has proved he's here to stay. So let's quickly start things off with his background. Corey Drew Seager was born April 27, 1994 in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was born to Jeff and Jody Seager, and he's the youngest of three brothers. Their parents encouraged them to play sports, and they were all very successful. His oldest brother, Kyle, is a former third baseman for the Mariners, and the middle brother, Justin, was drafted by the Mariners in 2013. Seager attended Northwest Cabarrus High School in Kannapolis. He played baseball and basketball for the school and was the #1 baseball recruit in the state. In 2012, he committed to the University of South Carolina on a baseball scholarship. Let's briefly discuss his early career. After graduating high school, Seager was selected 18th overall by the Los Angeles Dodgers in the 2012 MLB draft. Instead of attending college, he accepted the offer and subsequently received a $2.35 million signing bonus. Seager began his professional career with the Ogden Raptors of the Pioneer League. The following year, he was promoted to the Great Lakes Loons of the Class A Midwest League and was quickly promoted to the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes of the Class A Advanced California League. In 2014, he was promoted to the Chattanooga Lookouts of the AA Southern League, where he and Jock Peterson were co-winners of the Dodgers Minor League Player of the Year award. He was the 5th-ranked prospect in 2015, and the Dodgers assigned Seager to their new AA affiliate, the Tulsa Drillers of the Texas League. In 20 games with the Drillers, Seager hit .375 with 5 homers and was subsequently promoted to the AAA Oklahoma City Dodgers. He set the league on fire and was named AAA Player of the Year. Time to talk about his MLB career and achievements. On September 3rd, 2015, the Dodgers called Seager up to the majors. He had 2 hits with 2 RBIs in his debut, and he hit his first home run 9 days later.
Drilled to right, Corey Seager with his first big league home run.
He hit .337 in 27 games, replacing Jimmy Rollins as the starting shortstop down the stretch. Though in the playoffs, the Mets overpowered them in 5 games. He secured his starting shortstop position the following year, and in June, this happened.
Fly ball well hit to left field, at the wall and gone! A 3-run home run night!
He went on to make the All-Star team, and at the end of the season, he was awarded Rookie of the Year and the Silver Slugger Award. The following year, he once again made the All-Star team, but this time, it ended with a trip to the World Series. The Dodgers ultimately lost to the Astros in 7 games. A Tommy John surgery sidelined him for 2018, so he wasn't part of the World Series run. He bounced back in 2019, but the 2020 season would be like no other. That summer, he faced his brother Kyle Seager for the first time, and both homered in the game.
Seager going right back, same territory. Next pitch, Bellinger gone! All right, Seager versus Seager.
Seager led the Dodgers in all major batting stats as well as fielding percentage, and it would carry over to the postseason. Seager was a human highlight reel in the NLCS. His 5 home runs helped the Dodgers defeat the Braves in 7 games, and he went on to win the NLCS MVP. It was now time for the Dodgers' 3rd World Series in just 4 years. Seager would bat .400 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs, and in Game 6, this happened.
And who else would the Dodgers want up than Corey Seager?
Grounds it to first and coming home. Betts beats the throw with a head-first slide.
That would prove to be the go-ahead run in Game 6 to wrap up the Dodgers' first World Series championship in 32 years. Seager was named MVP of the World Series. The following year would once again be derailed by an injury after this happened. A fractured right hand would land him on the IL. He bounced back for the postseason, and despite hitting 2 home runs in the NLCS, the Dodgers ultimately fell to the Braves in 6 games. The Dodgers then offered Seager a 1-year, $18.4 million offer, but he declined. He instead signed the largest contract in Rangers history, and we'll dive more into that shortly. He was reunited with Chris Woodward and Tim Hires former Dodgers coaches who played large roles in Seager's development. He set a career high in home runs in his first season in Texas, but nothing would prepare us for what he would do in 2023. He once again hit 33 home runs, but this time he led them to a wild card playoff series. He didn't have the most stat-packed divisional round, but that's because the Orioles walked Seager 9 times.
Corey Seager becomes the first guy in postseason history to walk 5 times.
It didn't stop him from crushing this 445-foot bomb in Game 3, though.
Golf swung, right field, forget about it. Rangers strike first.
After sweeping the Rays and the Orioles, a Lone Star Series rivalry was in store for the ALCS. After a back-and-forth series, Seager took Game 7 into his own hands. He slammed a fastball from Astros starter Christian Javier into the second deck in the first inning. Their landslide victory would result in a trip to the World Series against the Diamondbacks, and Seager would put on an absolute show. Trailing by 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th, this happened.
Could tie it with one swing. A drive! It's tied!
He also hit home runs in Games 3 and 4, helping to secure the Rangers' first World Series title in franchise history. Seager became the 4th player in history to win the World Series MVP award twice. Let's take a look at his recent contracts and brand deals. Seager was in pre-arbitration from 2015 to 2018, so he only made an average of $549,000 per year. He was eligible for arbitration for the first time in 2019, and he agreed to a 1-year deal with the Dodgers for $4 million. The following year, they agreed to a 1-year, $7.6 million contract. And in his 3rd and final arbitration-eligible season, they agreed to a 1-year deal worth $13.75 million. But that's nothing compared to his deal with the Rangers. In December of 2021, Seager signed a mammoth 10-year, $325 million contract with the Texas Rangers. The contract was the largest in Rangers franchise history. But contracts aren't the only way he makes money. The shortstop has brand deals with Adidas, Rawlings, and Travis Matthew. He makes $2 million annually from off-the-field endorsements. Now that we know how much he makes, how does he spend his cash? During the early years in LA, Seager was roommates with Jock Peterson and Trace Thompson, but that's nothing compared to the house he bought after signing his deal with Texas. In July 2021, Seager closed on a brand new $4.95 million mansion just south of Music City. He also has a decent car collection. In 2020, he went out and picked up this Chevy Tahoe, which set him back $59,000. But his favorite car is his BMW M3, which comes with a price tag of $76,000. Peeking now into his personal life, Seager began dating Madison Van Ham in high school in Kannapolis, North Carolina. They got engaged in 2019 and married the following year. Together, they adopted a dog, Hazel, a toy Australian Shepherd. We already mentioned that he comes from a family of athletes, but it's wilder than you think. His father, Jeff, is a former college baseball player, though his career was cut short. And while we mentioned his brother played for the Mariners, we didn't yet tell you that he was a Rangers killer. Kyle Seager had a career OPS of .879 against the Rangers, including 37 home runs and 121 RBIs, both of those numbers higher than what he posted against any other team. Thankfully, Corey came along and restored the good name of Seager within the Rangers fan base. Outside of baseball, Corey is a big hockey fan and even got to drop the puck at the Dallas Stars game. He's also a massive fan of country music and even got to present the CMA for Single of the Year. Now at this point, you must be getting excited about his career earnings. As we mentioned before, Seager just signed the biggest contract of his career, so we're sure his net worth will rise. Having said that, he has amassed a total net worth of $50 million, and his total career earnings to date are $97,190,784. Comment below who we should cover next, and thanks for watching.